it go?
Well, considering it's about 5 in the morning, it went good. I'm a little raspy right now, but I've been friends with Jonathan, or I've known him for probably 5 or 6 years, and we haven't really seen each other or worked together recently, so it was good to kind of reunite and do this, but it went really well.
Are you familiar with the whole Anne Rice trilogy? Are you a fan of her books at all?
Being that I lived in New Orleans for a year or so, of course I had to familiarize myself with Anne Rice. Of course, it's probably obviously the most popular, but probably the most interesting version of a vampire story that has come across the whole vampire genre. And this one seems to be interesting, so I'm kind of waiting in anticipation to see how they handle the whole rock star vampire thing, which, you know, people often accuse me of being. So.
What do you think?
I don't think that fame and fortune would allow vampirism to become acceptable in mainstream culture, but I think political correctness and the idea that everybody needs to be accepted, and I'm sure there would be some support group for vampires who are discriminated against because they're only go out at night or they're too pale, so please don't hate us for who we are. So, I mean, it's pretty silly, but I'm sure the day will come when there will be some sort of vampire protest group. And in fact, you kind of see that a little bit in the whole goth scene. It always has been that people adopting an image and an attitude by choice and standing up for their taste and not wanting to be picked on for it. So that's something I've always been identifying with, whether or not I've actually considered myself goth or never really been someone who's into vampires, but recently I've adopted just the term Dracula as a general adjective to anything. I say, well, that's very Dracula, that's very dracked out. It's my ghetto Dracula kind of look I got going on today. So this is the first time I've ever came in almost in a way as a session singer or just as a singer, not someone who is writing the song. And it was a different thing for me, and I probably wouldn't have done it for just anyone, but since it was Jonathan and we had a relationship and he wanted me to do it, and this song in particular, I agreed to it. And since he did all of the work as far as creating it, it gave me the opportunity to just perform as a singer and not have to worry about all of the other elements that I normally do. So it made things easier, but harder in a way as well. But I enjoyed it ultimately in the end.
Did you have any options out of the 5 songs, or did he ask you to perform that song specifically because he thought it was perfect for you?
I'm sure that I probably could have picked, but it was the one that he wanted me to sing, so I didn't bother listening to the other ones. I figured it was his best judgment. And the song, I assume now from hearing all of them, is the one that sounded most like me or suited me the best to begin with. Sometimes Jonathan and I have similar vocals in some ways, and we've always kind of joked about that. So I think it'll be more complimentary than maybe some of the other singers who are far different from him. He and I are cut from the same block. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Aaliyah. I just started getting into her music, and had strangely enough been contacted by someone in her camp about working together at some point in the future. And I was really interested in that because I've always wanted to collaborate with a female artist, and there's very few that were appealing to me, and that seemed like an odd collaboration. And I was sad when I heard that happened, and I was sad that I never got to meet her. So hopefully this represents her well and compliments her, all of her work that she did when she was alive.
Okay.
you know, I'm in the middle of recording a new record, and it was good to just make contact with Jonathan again. I think maybe since I did this for him, maybe he'll work on something with me. But it's kind of in the secretive middle stages. This wasn't too far off from what I'm doing, so it didn't distract me from my frame of mind where I was at.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and thanks.